had this idea for a Joe. No,
Love it.
I didn't flesh it out as well as I would have liked, but I'm gonna toss this grenade out to Dan and Joe. So Dan is joining us from the Flirting with Wallet Chains podcast.
Hello.
And Joe, this is something that's near and dear to your heart, and here's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Bigfoot. I want to talk about mythical creatures.
I do love Bigfoot and I do
You
love
know
mythical creatures.
You know what's funny is I actually have been in talks with a friend of mine about doing a podcast about cryptids.
Oh no!
We're not stepping on toes here.
Okay. I do love Bigfoot.
So
I do love mythical creatures a lot.
We had on our Instagram a text message, and this is pretty typical of Joe and I. And I was I was watching. Have you ever listened to the podcast Lore? Either of you?
Yeah.
I love it, and they have that Amazon Prime show where there was one. It was about something to do with werewolves, and I started Googling werewolves, and I sent Joe this text message that said, dude, how fucking scary. And I'm serious right now, like, how fucking scary would it be if you go walking out to your car later today and you see like a werewolf at the end of a driveway, like 4 houses down?
Like any incarnation of a werewolf. Because the thing my immediate response was, that'd be really uncomfortable. It would suck. It'd be fucking terrible. Because if you think about the way that, and this was kind of, then he sent me a picture, which scared me. But then he and I talked like the next day. I'm like, the reason that I say that and the reason I agree with you, all other mythical creatures like this have somehow been romanticized outside of werewolves. Like there's vampires especially. When you look at...
What do you mean by romanticized?
Well, I mean, look at Twilight.
Made sexy?
Yeah, that turned into like...
Kind of like werewolves in the Twilight movies were?
I didn't see it, did you?
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
Lame.
Yeah, really lame.
But the
I
whole
want
thing...
to dig into that, by
I
the
do
way.
kind of in a bit. But the whole thing that I've always found, at least in the actual vampire and werewolf movies that I've seen, none of the time is it like that. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, same thing. I love the show, but you have this vampire that's a good vampire, brooding and all this shit. He's wearing cool clothes.
Yeah.
You know, the sexy vampire. They're not like the vampires from like 30 Days a Night, which is a fucking horrifying movie
Shout
from
out
a
to
vampire.
Josh Hartnett again.
We really love Josh Hartnett.
We really do.
And I don't have a problem with him. I think he's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's how I see a lot of vampire movies. I'm like, fuck. Those were scary, hard to kill, and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
But then you have the other ones. You have the Twilights, and that's not a knock on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think it's one of the best shows of all time.
Yeah.
But
Buffy and Angel, they're not necessarily horror.
not at all.
They're excellently written.
Yes.
And they're great series, but not... Vampires are almost secondary in those shows.
Yeah. But that's never really been done that I can think of for werewolves. Werewolves, even good movies, bad movies, werewolves still at the end of the day are just uncontrollable monsters that just shred you.
Or play basketball.
Or
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, I think there's a lot of holes in your werewolf theory here.
well, there's no sense in continuing. I guess let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Wait, let's hear your werewolf.
Well, look,
He's talking Teen Wolf.
I'm talking Teen Wolf, and then
Which was a
obviously
true werewolf movie.
Teen Wolf 2. So it was a series. Thus needs to be taken seriously.
I feel so bad.
I can't think of. I know they're out there. I at the moment can't think of legitimate, serious werewolf movies.
They tried
American
with
Werewolf in London.
the werewolf in London, of course, is
A lot of
classic.
comedy in it, though.
Yeah, there is a lot of comedy, but that 10-minute transformation scene was fucking painful. When he finally, oh my God. And like I mentioned you, the first 10, 15 minutes when they're running through the fog, that's scary as shit. But, okay, you're right. I forgot about Teen Wolf and all the hot werewolves in Twilight. Fuck you, Dan.
Taylor Lautner,
Well,
the werewolf from Twilight.
I've never seen
Used to
any
be
of the...
Shark Boy from the Shark Boy and Lava Girl franchise. Nothing?
Never
Deaf
seen
ears
those
here.
either.
Jesus Christ, you should not have been on this podcast.
So where are we landing on werewolves? Are we landing?
I
with
still
their-
think they're
real.
scary.
they're real.
Is that what we were asking? Yes.
Are you?
I still think they're very. I think of all of them, I think they're scary.
I would be scared. I would be scared shitless of a werewolf.
If you saw one,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It'll fucking scare the shit out of you.
Think about like werewolves. Obviously, they're very agile. They look athletic.
Yeah.
There's literally one way to kill them.
Yeah.
And You have to just have a silver bullet on you, have a gun on you, and be a goddamn marksman.
Yeah.
If
and,
one
and they
stood
cannot be reasoned with.
No, they cannot.
Not that vampires are known for their agreeability, but you can at least, there's a common language, you can talk to them.
Right.
Werewolves, you can't communicate shit.
Even if they're good people or bad people, typically when werewolves turn, all bets are off.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about them.
Yeah.
And also then, if you do happen to have a gun and if there was a werewolf in front of me who was 10 feet away and had a gun and a silver bullet, the thing's probably still going to kill me. I have to hit this little piece of heart.
My only shot would be if the werewolf was distracted. Like if it was reading a magazine or something and not moving around very much.
Like it's
then
as werewolves do. Yeah.
So it's like in a 7-Eleven, just like leafing through, like
Just licking its finger and flipping the pages. Yeah.
licking its finger. That's a paw, my friend.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
Licking its paw, and he's like, God, this goddamn administration.
But that would be scary, and it actually got me thinking a lot about Bigfoot and other mythical creatures that
Are clearly real.
So here's my question about Bigfoot. If today it ended up on the news, hunter finds, kills Bigfoot, we now know it's real. This is reputable. This isn't a bunch of, hoaxers getting together.
No, it's on MSNBC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you feel about the death of that Bigfoot? Like, would you feel like, it's a fucking shame they had to shoot the motherfucking thing? Or would you be like, it's the only way we would know? Because there's so many other hoaxes via photography and video.
What kind of... Give me some of the characteristics of this Bigfoot in question. Is it like the picture that we all know and love of the Bigfoot? Is this like a
The
Harry
Patterson
and the
video?
Hendersons?
The Patterson footage.
Yeah.
So character is he's hardworking. Okay. Family oriented, I would
Okay,
say.
then yes, I'm very sad. that you
I'd say
shot
he's
it.
more libertarian than anything.
Oh, now I'm pissed.
Yeah.
All right, he's just... yes, let's say it's the
It's
Patterson
just
video.
it's like a big ape,
Yeah.
Yes.
essentially. Well, I mean, the fact that we haven't known for sure about them until this theoretical shooting indicates to me that they're very endangered.
Right.
Or they're very good at building a secret society. Either way, I'd be bummed out that one of them got shot.
They may just be shy.
But the thing to me that makes it, the only reason I still hang on to, I don't know, maybe, is the vast wilderness.
Yes.
Like, I can't imagine that more than 20% of that has ever been
Thoroughly vetted, just, explored. I mean, it's
the same as the oceans, right?
That's how I was about to say. That's how I feel about oceans. I don't know if I feel that way about like the Pacific Northwest of the United States.
Okay.
Where Bigfoot's is Bigfoot's the correct pluralization?
I think it's big feet.
Big feet.
big feetin'.
Big feetin'.
Big thigh.
But yeah, I mean they're supposed to live in like Oregon.
Yeah.
We've done a pretty good job of
Surveying.
Oregon. Yeah.
You think?
I think.
That wilderness is so, like it's one of those
dense
things
and
that you're.
thick,
That's
sure.
what I mean. Like if you're flying over that, you can't see shit but green. I understand, like obviously the ocean, whatever comparison. Yeah, obviously the ocean's much more vast, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Obviously, there's not like a couple 100,000 of them all hiding in the same area. But what if there are 2 or 3? I don't know.
If 2 or 3 is not plausible, I think with me when it comes to Bigfoot, it's either there's a society of these fucking things out there,
Or there's none.
or there's none.
Yeah.
Like, how do you limit it to just a handful of you?
If they're asexual,
If there were only 2, then what did you say?
if they're asexual,
Okay, then that addresses the point I was about to make.
they're all born female and they all just have babies out of wedlock. Let's be real, horse.
So these are a bunch of Jesus Bigfoot.
These are all
Big feetin' exist except for they're really, really just staunchly religious, like hardcore
Well, that's also-
Mormon.
yeah, and they're also not very active on
What
Twitter.
were you going to say?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Cool.
But that's why, to me, I legitimately, at least, number one, I'll just say, I don't think that there is a such thing as Bigfoot. That being said, there's enough space and area out there that it's plausible that something lives out there and we've never seen it.
Yes, I would say that when you're talking about something like a Bigfoot that is very, very large, it's going to have a pretty significant impact on the ecosystem around it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we haven't seen Bigfoot or mysterious effects to ecosystem that we couldn't explain makes me think 95% sure that it's not out there. No. I will say, you tell me anything exists in the ocean, and I will believe it wholeheartedly.
We'll get to that.
There's a 50-foot shark out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that. So here's my question. How often do you see deer?
All the fucking time.
All the fucking time. They're in the woods or all over the place, right? How many times have you found a deer antler on the ground of the woods?
I don't go to the woods very often.
Okay.
0. He said 0.
Right. My point being...
He didn't want people to know that he never goes to the woods by himself, but he means 0.
My point being that we see deer all the time.
Yep.
Deer have horns, not the females, obviously, but those horns fall off. And I've spent a lot of time in the woods. I've never found one.
Neither do I.
But there are deer everywhere. There have to be deer antlers everywhere on the ground.
Sure. Most animals, though, when they die, go off and die. So the trails that you're walking that are highly trafficked...
Their antlers aren't... their antlers are just... They're seasonal. So it has nothing to do with them. They're literally seasonal. So they get them and then they lose them in the spring.
They completely fall off?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I never knew this about deer.
So
that's magical.
Yeah. And then they grow back the next season.
A full-on fucking deer antler.
Yeah.
Just falls off of its head and it starts anew, growing another one.
Absolutely.
Are you sure about this?
100%.
That doesn't sound right.
I'm 100%.
You've never been in the woods. What the fuck do you know?
Yeah, what do you fucking know? Go ahead and Google that shit.
I am going to Google it.
So
you guys,
my point being, there are deer everywhere. I've never come across one, and I've spent a lot of time in the woods. Actually, that's not true. I did find a mule deer one in Colorado once on a golf course.
What is a mule deer?
Just kind of different kind of deer that they have in Colorado.
Have you ever... I guess my argument with this all the time is, I think we can all agree that foxes exist.
Yes.
I've never fucking seen one.
I've never actually seen a fox.
I've seen one.
I've
literally
never,
one in
I've
my
never
life.
seen a fucking fox, but if you walked up to someone and said, I don't think foxes are real, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But foxes are real, 100%. No one's disputing that. I've never fucking seen one.
Right. This is what I'm saying. In that area of uncharted wilderness is so vast.
Okay. But here's the thing. People have seen some. And people
Fox?
have found deer antlers.
No, right, yeah.
People have not found Bigfoot.
No, I understand.
But some people claim they have.
Those people are liars.
Well, how do you know the fox people aren't lying?
Damn, that's a good point.
Damn. 1-0 Joe.
Dan, that's a good point.
Hey!
But back to the deer antler thing. And by the way, it would be hard to find a deer antler because they're going to look like branches and sticks. Let's be honest.
Do they erode and finally just turn into...
No, they're bone. I mean, they'll last as long as...
They're made up of honeycomb bone-like tissue, Patrick.
Okay, bone-like tissue.
I'm now an expert now that I have an article.
Now that you have an article.
Thank you for correcting me on that. So I just think it's plausible that Bigfoot is out there.
I agree, and I really want him to be too.
What about... So the Yeti is not Bigfoot. The Yeti is specific to the area of...
Like Nepal.
Yes, thank you. I think that's exactly right. So it's specific to that area.
By the way, you were completely right about deer antlers falling off in that weird way. I just wanted to go on record that I was wrong.
Oh, you weren't wrong. You just didn't know.
Oh, I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it didn't come off this way, but I was pretty staunchly calling you an idiot.
He was definitely wrong. Add that to the list of things he's wrong about.
So the Yeti, there's an entire different culture that believes basically the exact same thing, but it's called something different somewhere else.
And let's not forget about the Squatch, the mighty Sasquatch.
So what is the difference between the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and the Yeti?
I think Bigfoot, you're looking at a brown kind of chimpanzee-looking thing, but bigger. Yeti, as we discussed, is kind of Nepalese. It's over there in the Orient, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that Yetis are basically snow Bigfoot.
Okay.
So they live in snowy climates.
The abominable snowman.
Sure. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What if? Okay, let's we're gonna formulate this right now. What would happen if one of us went and rented a ape / Bigfoot costume, and we literally just went and hung out in like a wooded area next to a highway?
We would get
I
shot
would agree.
Wait.
I think we'd be murdered
No!
immediately.
within a day's time.
Yeah.
No, we're not even gonna do it for a day. We're
Over
talking
by the
about a couple
mall?
of hours.
Yeah, we're not going to survive a day.
I think we would be shot immediately.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
Who's
Yeah.
gonna shoot us?
The first person that sees us who has a gun on them. Yes.
That is not. If I was that
Really?
person,
You think-
I would shoot.
Yeah.
Do you really think so?
100%.
Oh yeah. That would be fucking terrifying, man. We're in Ohio.
Okay, so let's put yourselves in this scenario where you're just driving to work, and you drive by 65 miles an hour. You're on the highway, and you catch a glimpse of something that you think like, "What the fuck did I just see?"
I drive faster. I don't stop and go back for sure.
I bowl into that motherfucker with my Kia.
I would honestly. I think the first thing I would do is. I would cause an accident because I'd just be looking all over rearview mirror, and I probably would try to call or text somebody right away, and then I honestly would probably get off at the next exit and try to drive back and see if I could see it again.
But you wouldn't shoot it,
No, God, no,
even if you had a gun.
no. If I was holding a gun, I'm on foot. I came across that. Yes, the clip gets emptied in the general direction of whatever the fuck I'm looking at. I'd be too scared. I mean, you're thinking like. If we're thinking like a stereotypical whatever you would think a Bigfoot was, a 6 foot to 6'5" brown monster in the middle, and I'm
Just walking,
sitting-
minding its own business.
minding its own. I don't know. Is it whistling and just chilling out?
It doesn't matter. You're driving a 65 mile. You don't know what the
I'm
fuck
not talking
it's
about
doing.
the driving thing. This would never even come into play.
Okay.
If I'm on the driving thing, no, that's never going to happen. I keep driving. I'm fine. I'm safe. I'm talking about where the scenario that you're talking about, what Dan and I are talking about, is if someone encounters this thing face to face and they are armed, they're going to shoot it.
And also, you're talking to Joe, who is a semi-reasonable man.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And not like an avid crazy hunter or anything like that. It's not incredibly likely that we would shoot, but there's someone out there that would fucking shoot.
Open fire?
Yes.
So would either of you ever consider donning a Bigfoot
And
outfit?
going through the woods?
No
No,
way, no
not even
way.
a little bit.
in like the
I'd
morning?
go to like Target in a Bigfoot costume,
Yeah.
but
Or your house.
I would, and I'm not joking. I would do it. Like I would put that shit on and like walk along like just like the outskirt of trees on like 71 North, just to see what people would.
here's
People
the
would
thing.
do.
Well,
Here's the
then I
thing.
guess
There's-
that actually brings us to our next topic. We're actually auditioning for a third mic here because we're going to be down one man very shortly.
but
If
the
you
thing
want
is-
to do that, I will 100% help you do that. I don't think it's a great idea.
But here's the problem. The best case scenario in your plan is that you're bored in the woods for a couple of hours.
Agreed.
You're not going to be able to see anybody's reaction to you.
No,
They're
but-
driving by at 70 miles an hour.
Agreed 100%, but there's going to start a social media swarm around that. I swear. Could you imagine how many people would Facebook? I swear to you, I saw Bigfoot this morning. That would become
All right, you're
okay.
I'm getting back on.
Look,
the
I'm
game.
willing to risk your life to run the experiment.
I want to do this now.
Okay.
I honestly want to do this, and I'm not joking. I really want to do this. I want to look for a date where we can go and rent a costume, and what I swear to you I'll do is between the hours of 6 and 8. We'll keep it to a 2-hour window.
AM or PM?
AM.
Okay.
So we'll do this during morning commute. We'll find a heavily trafficked area of 71, and we'll just have me in like barely visible scenarios where maybe I walk from like behind one tree to another, or just like along one of those like sound barrier walls. just like walking, like looking around confused. I don't know, how did I get here? And then just like, do you know how many people would be social
I'm
mediaing
telling
that
you,
shit?
You would be really disappointed in the outcome of this experiment.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
All right.
I mean,
It's apathy or death.
Yeah.
Though
there's not going to be apathy to that.
I did find these are actually surprisingly easy. I'll flip the bill for this Bigfoot costume. We can get them at Target for like $60.
I was gonna say, how realistic of a costume are you?
It doesn't have to
Well,
be.
if it's far away, it's not
Yeah.
gonna matter.
It doesn't have to be super realistic. Okay,
Then
what's
I,
on your
I
mind?
think you're gonna get people that are just like, what the fuck is that guy in a monkey suit doing?
Then the
that'd
very
be
next day,
hilarious.
I'll walk around the same line of woods wearing this. I bet I'll get more
Visual
reactions.
joke Joe strikes again.
But yeah, I think it'd be very easy for us to find a costume very
you don't
clearly.
you don't think anybody would react to that at all?
I don't.
If you
Flip side of this.
I'm not done.
Okay, cool.
Don't flip side it yet. I want you to, but let's say we're in the Metro Park. Okay? Just a Sunday afternoon in the Metro Park, and you see something in the distance in the trees dressed like a monkey. You're far enough away and you just see it walking by. You're not going to think to yourself, holy fucking shit, what is that?
Okay, my first thought is going to be, why the fuck did I come walking in the woods? I hate walking. And I'm out of breath.
All right, let's say you're in your
Second
car.
thought is going to be, what's that guy in a monkey suit doing over there? I don't think... I just don't think that this experiment is going to go the way that you.
We're going to find out, though.
Okay.
I have to say I'm a little worried about doing this on 71 too.
Why?
What if someone actually did get kind of like miffed by that and like got in an accident?
That's a good point. If somebody
I think
does
we're better
react
off-
the way
I
that you think
we're-
they will,
If you want to do, I think we're better off doing this at like a park where people are on foot.
especially now that there's an audio record of it, this
Oh,
is a
yeah, my
liability
bad.
nightmare.
My bad. Yeah, I just admitted that you would be liable if you. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so we're now switching it to a park on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, probably. I'd be really worried about that. What if someone did see it and then turned to look? And that'd be fucked up.
Could you imagine
This dumb podcast is responsible for 20 car
Another
pile-up.
death.
There was a 20-car pileup on 71 North this morning because some jackass on a podcast.
And we'd be watching like, they can't say the name of the podcast.
Throw me a bone here.
Joe, you were going to flip side it a few
Yeah,
minutes ago?
now I wanna
That
hear
was
that.
my flip side.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm trying to play like, yeah, this could be funny. This also could turn out really fucking bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think if we do this, park is way better.
So would you guys be willing, I'll dress up. Would you be willing to go into the park and just like hang around like the picnic area or whatever, and as I'm walking by, you play the role of, the fuc was that?
Yeah,
and
we
then
can
like
do that.
I'll hear through like my headphones on, right? Because I'll have my Bluetooth in or whatever. And
Are we going to be mic'd up? Is this what you're...
no,
we
just
just
cell
have
phone.
the phone.
Yeah. And
These also reach
I don't
out
know why
to
I was
people.
trying to overcomplicate it. Like, so we need a wireless microphone system now, Patrick?
Dan's in the
Where are
back.
we gonna get army grade walkie-talkies?
Dan's in the back of a panel van. Go, go, go!
We're made!
We've been made. And then like, so just,
Firebird, this is Glassdoor. We've been mad.
we've been mad.
Made fuck.
I mean, I've been mad. But would
But,
you?
Look,
yeah.
I'll indulge your silly little fantasy.
Yeah,
I'll
plus
be there for
Dan
it.
and I were just talking about he and I should go on more picnics together.
Yeah, we
so
really-
two
Well,
birds.
No. You do the whole thing where you're not together. You're just part of the ruse, right? So
Okay.
you're there with your
It
girl.
would look
You're there
weird
with
if you and
your
I were
girl
sitting on a blanket together.
with like a full birthday cake, candles and all.
For Dan. And I'd be like, happy 30th day out of rehab, Dan. Actually, I would do that.
Yeah.
We'll probably get more reactions
Yeah.
than your Bigfoot costume. These
Then we
two
can
these two adult men celebrating 30-day sobriety in the park with a cake.
New podcast idea, park experiments.
But we could do that and just see like just record people's reactions.
But see,
to
now
like,
you're changing the rules. You're moving the goalposts a little bit.
no, I agree.
Your first idea was...
I'd prefer to do that, by the way.
But what I'm saying is your first idea was just people seeing this. Now
Yeah.
you're recruiting us to kind of like...
Now we got to
So people overhear someone talking about it
Yeah.
and
We have to
giving them a preconceived notion of what they're walking
At the end of
into.
the day, the reason
I also don't trust Joe or my acting abilities.
no, I've seen yours, Gulgarious and Neff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
gonna do an
the
accent.
reason the reason I think the two of you need to be there is to protect me when somebody does want to pull their gun and shoot.
I think it's bold of you to assume that I would protect you.
No, I think you would.
I've told you this entire time. This is a fool's errand.
We're gonna do this.
I'm not dying for this, Patrick.
Can we look into this? I do want to do this.
Sure, yeah.
That's fine.
In the spring, before like leaves really start to take things.
Yeah,
out.
when it's really nice out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice spring day.
This is gonna be pretty
Watch
awesome.
Patrick
I
get
think.
murdered.
Yeah.
We could do it like right at dusk, where like visibility is even lower, and you just see this
So
like
it's even more dangerous.
yes.
And even less likely that our
Why don't
rehab
we just,
celebration
why don't we
is
just hunt you? Joe and I give you like surviving the game. You play
I'm
Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Yeah. Joe's Gary Busey. I'm Rutger
No,
Charles
Hauer.
S. Dutton.
Charles S. Dutton. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nobody wants to be Gary Busey. Okay, so anything else on Bigfoot?
Surviving the game was a good
It
movie.
was a really good movie.
That was
really
my
enjoyed
final
it.
comment on Bigfoot.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know my thoughts on Bigfoot. I'm looking at 4 Bigfoot coasters right now.
Yeah.
I have 2 Bigfoot T-shirts. I'm a fan, and I want him to be real.
I didn't know that you were this deep into Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, he and I used to, especially there was a lot of documentaries he and I would send each other back and forth on it. They're all horseshit. They're
bad.
all bad. Like the
Yeah.
Patterson footage that we just joked around about. The Patterson footage, if you know the story about it, is complete horseshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's complete horseshit. These two literally bought a camera with a check that bounced to go out into the woods to see if they could find Bigfoot, and just happened to find him that day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, lucky you guys. It's clearly bullshit.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at it, yeah, it's interesting. It's cool. But at the end of the day, it's the same reaction Dan had. Oh, look, a guy in a monkey suit.
But here's something that's interesting to me is, when was that? Was that the 70s?
Yeah, I think so. Late 70s.
It was way easier to trick people back then.
Well, it's the information thing, though, too. I mean, if you show someone that and the study's like, look what we found, like, fuck,
Wait, can
what
somebody
is that?
Google that? You sure that was the 70s? I think it was
thought it
earlier
was.
than that. But today, you bring up a very good point, Dan. The whole problem we're going to have with this me dressed as Bigfoot thing is immediate skepticism. But if we stage this right, it could be pretty fucking funny just to see what people's reactions would be to seeing something that you don't know what you're seeing.
I'm willing to try it out.
I want to do this.
1967, by the way.
Okay.
For the Patterson footage.
Okay. But you're right.
Confirmed.
It was easier.
Confirmed.
Okay. You both Googled the same thing.
Odd tangent that's kind of unrelated. I've been thinking about this recently because my brain is weird. Before the internet, how is it that none of us went to high school together? Right?
Correct.
How is it that we all had the same rumors at our high school? Like, I don't know, maybe you guys, this is a little after your time, but the rumor that Marilyn Manson was played by the kid from the Wonder
Brian
Years.
Warner.
How did that rumor spread everywhere before
Without
there
the
was
internet.
an internet?
I don't know.
It's eating my brain alive not knowing how this happened.
That's
And that's not
actually
the only example. Like,
Yeah.
there's a ton of rumors that everybody's high school had.
I don't know.
you're absolutely right about that. And the Marilyn Manson one, I think that might have been deep enough that the internet did help that. But there are ones that I see exactly what you're saying, where everybody had the same kind of rumor.
The Marilyn Manson thing was
Early 90s.
yeah. I mean, the internet existed, but
Yeah.
it wasn't.
But it was there, and it was...
Okay, true.
And probably because there was access, but not so much access to information that could easily be debunked. It doesn't take a lot of people to have to look at that and be like, oh my God, this must be true because I can't, it's on this box. It's got to be true. And I can't find anything that says it's not true. And no one knows what the fuck happened to that kid from the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's kind of a perfect rumor
Yeah.
for the perfect time.
Yeah.
But to your point, like, you take something like... And I wish I could think of something right now. I just keep thinking about greaser kind of stuff, right? Like... For some reason, I keep thinking about the movie Christine, and I don't know why, but not everybody's high school was talking about ghost cars. But like how, like in a time like that,
But everybody has like a crybaby bridge.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
How does shit like that spread?
local folklore.
But everybody's is the same.
The fuck is a crybaby bridge?
It's a bridge where there's the tail is different depending on where you go, but
It's a tale as old as
like
time.
a baby died or was thrown
Tossed
over
off,
the edge
yeah.
or whatever, and on a cloudy night, if you drive by, you can still hear the baby cry.
I don't think we had that. We had...
But you've heard that.
Well, yeah, you just said it. The, no, I don't think I know that.
No?
one.
Really?
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I went to a really good high school.
clearly. They weren't getting taken in by any of these ruses.
No. Sharp kids. All doing really well. None in jail. I'm trying to think of a good one like that. But yeah, obviously the Maryland Manson one's a really good point. Not the baby one. There was always like a place, like there, like a road that like you can't drive down this road now. You're gonna see some shit on the side of
Yeah.
the road,
Yeah.
like a ghost or flaming person or an angel or a dead
Flaming
woman.
person.
Flaming angel. I said.
He means a gay person when he says that. When you drive down the road, you'll see
Which
a
in the
gay guy.
90s was weird. No, fucking. But I think
Okay, the rumor that Rod Stewart had so much cum in his stomach that he had to get his stomach pumped.
Well, I've never heard
I've
that.
actually heard that about other celebrities.
Yeah.
Wait,
there was
One
Rod
of them.
Stewart.
One of them was one of the what's the boy band? The really big boy band.
Backstreet Boys.
No,
NSYNC?
before
New Kids on the Block.
that one. One of them threw up on stage, and that was the rumor.
Yeah, it's been
Jesus
applied to a few
Christ.
different people,
Yeah.
but it was about Rod Stewart, and that was definitely before the internet. How did everybody hear this rumor?
I've never heard that.
But okay, the Richard Gere gerbil one.
Richard Gere.
Everyone's heard that
That's
one.
30
yes.
years
How
old.
did this rumor spread?
That's a
That's
great
30, 40
one.
years old. That didn't just start.
Yeah.
That's been forever. How's that start? I heard
yeah.
it's Sylvester Stallone's fault.
So he put the gerbil up there?
No, he
Or
started the
spread
rumor. I already
Okay.
started the rumor.
Okay.
But
But
that's
again,
actually
I
a
heard
great
that
example.
rumor about the rumor.
Yeah.
That rumor was started, boom, another rumor.
Yeah. And
I'm-
it's not like these are stories that were like printed in People magazine.
Right.
No.
Well, was it? I honestly
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know. I wrote them
Maybe-
several letters and they never printed it.
That's a good good example because everybody has heard
everyone's
that one.
heard
the
that.
Rod Stewart and the cum thing.
It's
never
still
heard
done
that.
in,
That's
like,
weird that you've never heard that.
never
That's
heard
a
that.
pretty.
I haven't heard the Rod Stewart one. I've heard that about
Yeah.
other celebrities that like it's usually a celebrity that is famous that all women love and that men hated, so they would try to turn him into
Exactly.
like, oh well, they're gay. Do you know they were gay?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
He had his stomach pumped.
yeah,
That's how gay.
totally gay.
Yeah.
Where are you guys on Loch Ness Monster?
It's a hoax.
I think
I love how he's so immediate.
I
It's a
think that
hoax.
was another
nothing
one that
good.
was proven to
Yeah,
be
that
a
one
hoax.
that's
Well,
actually been proven. Yeah,
But like the Patterson, they did prove that a lot of the photographs and everything were hoaxes. That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
There were plenty where science or professional photojournalists and things like that look at them and go, I can't tell you how they did that.
yeah. But
There are a handful.
I think that the reason that that I say it's a hoax, not real like Bigfoot, is because the technology to actually kind of search the area that the Loch Ness Monster is supposed to be in, it's not as vast.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's the what they're saying. Unless the Loch Ness Monster has the ability to just flat out disappear, no, it's not. And that was the thing. Like they've had so many expeditions over the last 30, 40 years of first like dragging the lake. They obviously have the I don't know what they are, the monitors. Like when you go like
Sonar.
when you go like fishing, a lot of times the person, if you go like on a fishing trip with like a guy and like rent his boat, he can take you to where the fish are based on his electronic
Yeah.
equipment, and that's how you catch fish. That's what they've done, and they're just like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But that's not true. There are things there. They think they are other things, but there have been plenty of times where they're like, well, we got this thing on sonar. We think it's a catfish. We don't know for certain.
Well, but then if it's a catfish, then it's just
that's-
like it's not even a Loch Ness Monster. It's just a weird looking fish.
No,
Yeah.
but dude, catfish can be like
That's true. They can
they
get
have
frighteningly big.
huge, bigger than humans. Catfish, like the Wells catfish. Like look that shit up. They're giant. But did you know that they actually science? To Joe's point, they can actually DNA science is so good now that they can take water and definitively tell the difference between thousands of species that have tainted that water with their DNA.
Oh yeah.
Really?
That's an absolute,
Wow.
and they're doing that in Loch Ness now because they the technology is so good that they can do that. They can go, we get this sample of water, we can tell you thousands of different species that have been that have tainted that with their DNA, and tell you we know what it is or we don't.
That's nuts.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, but nothing like that exists today in the wilderness.
No.
They can do that in the water. They can't do it just like out in the woods.
Yeah.
I think a lot of both of these, and those are the two biggest ones. I think worldwide, like Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster, I think they've also just kind of lost steam.
Let's not forget about the Mothman.
I love the Mothman.
That was what I was actually going to bring up.
Okay.
That's why I said
Shout out to Kenzie.
that's why I said nationally, because the Mothman, obviously we're in Ohio. That's a big thing around here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because he's from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, which is right on the border.
It's right on the
Yeah.
border.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why a lot of Ohio people know about it, because it's literally that bridge.
And speaking
is-
of Richard Gere,
Boom, full
yeah,
circle.
look at that shit.
that movie was fucking sweet, by the way.
I haven't seen it since it came out.
It's great.
I remember liking it.
I own it.
It's
Do you?
great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nice.
That's one of those where there was a couple pieces in that movie that were so utterly terrifying. Like when he's just like, this book, page what, third line, and he's still, and like the voice on the phone is reading it to him before he even gets there. It's really, really scary.
Yeah, I remember being scared by it.
Yeah,
I should watch that again.
That's an underrated movie.
Yeah.
Takes place over Christmas time-ish.
It does.
Is that a Christmas movie then? We'll just skip that for another discussion. But I read the book because there was a while that I was really into the fucking Mothman. So I was reading all kinds of stuff about it, researching stuff about it. Never went to Point Pleasant, but some crazy ass shit was happening out there.
That's kind of why I was always kind of drawn to that more than the other stuff, just because it happens over like a 5-week period, and then it just never really.
Now that
materialized
being
again.
said, there's an underground armory there, like what we have here in Ravenna, and that armory, everything was sealed in concrete, but the armaments, the bombs, grenades, whatever they had stored in there, were eroding into the water supply of that town. So they think there was it had a lot to do with people being poisoned from
sightings and just hallucinations.
That's exactly right.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of those things were like happening like where two people would be in a car or somebody would be in
They
a car.
both see it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was like they both would see. I think there may have even been a sightings, like 2 separate sightings in the same day from different people in different parts, but they described the same thing, which kind of cut off they already heard about it, so they're saying they saw it too. I think there were 2 in the same day, and there's no way these people actually spoke to each other, but described the same thing.
That brings up an interesting question. Have either of you ever had any kind of supernatural experience? And for the record, I do not believe in anything supernatural, but I like hearing people's stories.
I don't. Can I tell a story real quick?
Yeah.
I don't believe in the supernatural, but this is a true fucking story. So I was probably 8, 9 years old. I used to have a friend come over, and we would play tinfoil baseball in the family room of my house. So what we would do is we'd get baseball cards, and you'd put players at different where their positions were.
Yeah.
And then you'd get up, and the other guy would pitch the tinfoil ball to you, and you'd grab a baseball card, and that would be your hitter. And we did this all the time. And then you'd literally you'd try to get from base to base before the guy could get the ball. And we're in there one day, and we're playing, and the room flashes bright green. And I mean like lightning instant, that fast. The entire room lit up bright green. And this is in the 80s. So it's not like there was technology, like somebody took a photo or something with with a green flash or whatever. We both, in completely different parts of the room, saw it. Unexplainable to me. I have no clue what that was. I still think it was static electricity discharge. That's what I believe it was.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it that bright green.
How old were you?
9, 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that was the weirdest thing that I've ever had happen to me, where I was like, I don't know how to explain what I just experienced. And at that age, you're like, what was that?
Yeah.
I do believe in supernatural stuff. I believe in not necessarily UFOs, but I believe that there's something past this planet for sure.
I do too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. The most supernatural thing that ever happened to me, when I was a junior in college, I met this girl, and she hooked up with me, and it was fucking weird. I couldn't believe it.
The whole time I'm like, I see where this is going.
It was, I I think she probably believes in supernatural too, because she can't believe she did it either. But no, that's it.
I was really hoping that story was going to end with. So I went to pick her up for our second date, and I was like,
She's
"Hey,
been
is
dead
Lisa
for
there?"
40 years.
Exactly. Yes.
That's my daughter.
There used to be a Lisa that lived here.
So, what about you? Anything?
I had a weird experience with dreams once.
Okay.
So this was back in my early 20s. My one buddy and I were like getting really into like lucid dreaming and shit. And we were like, we should like just see if it's possible to like meet up with each other in the dream realm,
That'd
dude.
be rad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. So, and by the way, we were both smoking a lot of pot at this time. So,
Okay.
but one night we were like, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna meet up at the place that we work in our dream. So let's try to do that. So that night I had a dream that I went to the place that I worked and he wasn't there, and I was like, I need to write a message to him.
Weird.
And for some reason I decided that the message was gonna be Rubik's. So I started writing Rubik's all over the walls.
Okay.
And he never showed up, and I left. And the next time I saw him, I was like, hey, did you try to meet up with me in the dream like we talked about? And he's like, oh, no, man, I forgot. And I was like, I had a crazy dream, and I told him about it, and he was like, dude, I had a fucking dream that I was in my parents' basement, and for some reason there was a giant pile of Rubik's Cube keychains.
Fucking weird, man.
And I trust this guy, and I've known him for like 15,
Yeah.
20 years now, and every now and then I'll ask him, like, were you fucking with me with that dream Rubik's Cube thing? And he'll be like, no, dude, dead serious. I don't know, man.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You guys should have seen this girl. I mean, it makes
she's more
no
like
sense.
Bigfoot.
It makes no
So,
sense.
I didn't want to, and I know we want to be careful with time here, but I have a lot to say about like whether or not there's artificial or not artificial, there's intelligent
Yeah.
life elsewhere. Like that's entirely plausible to me because I'm agnostic. I don't have this like tie to one supreme being over us and humanity. So to me, evolution and all the perfect things that have to happen to spark life, that's entirely possible to me that's happened elsewhere.
It seems like an impossibility that it's not.
That's
right?
mine.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that of all the colored frisbees in the universe. That's a flat Earth joke. I'm sorry, but basically, they were saying that flat Earth people actually believe that all of the planets are flat. So we kind of joked around that it's basically the solar system looks like a bunch of colored frisbees.
Yeah.
But I can't. And I'm not saying even in this solar system, but obviously we are just a pinprick of what's actually out there. I refuse to accept that we're the only thing with life or intelligent life. Or that just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I do not. I don't think that we've been visited by
I don't think so either.
But I think it's out there.
I don't. Let me actually. I don't think we have been visited that we know about. I think
I
that,
could
I think
see
the
that.
ones that can travel through multiple solar systems, trust me, they can get in and out of here. They're not just going to float around. They're not just going to float around Cuyahoga Falls. Like, oh, we've been spotted.
they didn't fuck up their visit to Earth.
Then they report back like, so how did you? Well, it was okay.
We got caught.
Pretty sure most of one city saw us, and these people are super heavy in social media, so everyone saw us.
I like the idea that there's aliens that are basically planning our Bigfoot in the park thing, but visiting Earth, and now there's an alien in a spaceship that's like, we've been made.
All right, back. Come on, we gotta go back.
What do you think would be happen if we went and took our ship and just hovered over Cuyahoga Falls?
I love that Patrick's
do
doing
too.
mannerisms
It's a great one.
with the voice.
I actually think we could probably do a UFO. Actually, my suggestion: a UFO cast when we have video cast, because we can pull up a lot of the footage and all
and
that
stuff,
shit.
yeah.
Because there's so much.
Maybe we
And
get
it's stuff
David
that kinda-
Duchovny on.
What's that?
David Duchovny. Maybe we can get him to come on.
I'll text him.
Only if he dresses like he did in Twin Peaks.
Okay. Yeah, as a woman.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that to me, and there's so many civilizations that go back thousands of years
Yeah.
that have indicated some kind of
The
like
Mayan stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Like the what stuff?
The Mayans. I mean, the Mayans. When you go back and look at some of their like the glyphs and the things that we found, I mean, they're shit, and they're just like, how do we explain this? It almost looks like they were visited, or that they have like a weird documentation of stuff you just can't understand how they did this.
I'd be interested to see some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's put a pin in that and plan
that's what
a
I
video
mean.
cast.
I think if we could do a video cast, we could pull everything up on the TV, which is weird. I wish everyone could see this. We actually have the perfect studio setup with a television that we're all facing to actually be able to do this. So once we have that capability, I think we can start doing stuff like this. Because I'd love to. Some of the UFO footage, you're just like, well, it's probably not real, but fuck.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to explain.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. And anything else on this mythical creature?
No, I love that we did Mythical Creatures, High School Rumors, back to Mythical Creatures, and we planned his murder-suicide in the park.
I think that could be. I think it could be fun.
No, I'm fine with doing that, man. I think I
Yeah.
would like to. I told you, I've been Googling Bigfoot costumes. They're not that expensive.
Oh, good news. All right. Anything else, Dan?
Nope.
Anything you want to plug?
Flirting with Wallet Chains, at Flirting with Wallet Chains on Instagram. Follow me. Get at your boy.
Do you have a Facebook or anything?
I have my own Facebook.
You
but
have the
I
medias.
don't want people.
Okay. You can tell how into his podcast he is.
I really hate social media.
I don't really want to promote my podcast.
No, I'm saying I have a personal Facebook page. I don't have a Facebook page.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I don't want the riffraff that listens to this show to try to friend me on. I'm never on Facebook anyway.
Cool. Well, I'll look for you on Facebook. For us, obviously, tomorrow. Well, no, you're not gonna fucking hear it. Forget it. Because these are out of order.
Yeah.
But remember, April 6th, we have the live show at Terrestrial Brewing. We've been promoting it on Facebook, so Dan didn't see it. Check it out on us. Obviously on Instagram, we'll be pushing that too. We got a lot of other stuff coming up here in terms of videos, podcast shows, cross promotional stuff. So
it's getting fun.
yeah, it's actually getting really, really fun, and we're slowly getting more listeners, slowly getting more followers. You know, the analytics, we're actually showing people in other countries and other states we don't fucking know, and they're listening to us. So hopefully, that'll continue and it'll keep growing. So, but we have a lot coming up here in the next couple weeks.
All right, that's it. And go hug your local Bigfoot.
Yep.
If you come across them, just don't shoot it, because we don't need that.
Give it a hand job.
Yeah, we don't need
This is
that.
Patrick trying to get a hand job in the woods.
It's a weird fantasy.
If you happen to be in the Metro Park in like May-ish,
And you got some dead sperm.